That's about Inside Out 2, which of course is a sequel to the very popular Inside Out, which almost made $1 billion, which is insane. Of course, Pixar was going to come back and make a sequel for this film, and on that note, I need Pixar to drop this whole Elemental wasn't a big hit, because do you see how much it grossed? You just gotta chill. Not all movies are gonna hit $1 billion, but that's a whole other video. Before we get into the ending of Inside Out, what happened and all of that, I want to ask you to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Very, very important to us to grow and to be able to continue to do more for the channel. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Tons of giveaways, tons of videos. Let's get into Inside Out 2. So this film takes place a year or two after the events of Inside Out. Of course, we are now knowing that the core emotions here, sadness, joy, disgust, fear, and anger, are sort of starting to get the groove of how to handle Riley's emotions and start to realize that, hey, I think we're going to have a good system here. We see as Riley is getting ready to go to hockey camp, she's going to try out for a team, and then things get a little weird. But let's talk about what the emotions have been doing recently, and that is they are actually making a section called Sense of Self, where they put the core memories for Riley and her feelings that make Riley's personality, the good, the bad, and all of that, and just mold it into this sense of self in order to be able to sort of have that as a reminder of everything Riley's accomplished and is as a person. They also have this new mechanism that Joy has created where they launch any negative memories all the way into the back of Riley's mind. Talk about suppressed memories, y'all. But really love these aspects of the film where you're just watching it and it's so like broken down into these like easy to understand things, and then it's still like a very complex situation, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. So one night before Riley goes to camp, the emotions are startled by this alarm. What could this alarm be, they think, and then they find out puberty alarm. I mean, when puberty hits, right? And you're just a bottle of emotions, honestly. If anybody remembers when they were growing up and stuff like that, it definitely is a hard time, and it definitely is a lot going on at the same time. So the mine workers come into the headquarters, they upgrade the new console, and they tell the emotion, oh, by the way, others are coming, so be tuned in for that. And the emotions are just like, what? And then the next day, the new emotions come through, and it is just not a good time. The old emotions find out that this new console there actually has Riley overreacting whenever they use it, and then we find out that Riley is going to have her friends going to different high schools now. So this is all like a lot to handle, not just for the emotions but for Riley. All these new emotions are coming. Riley's dealing with the changing aspect of her friendships now, and now we got the emotions clashing with one another. So anxiety comes through and says, hey, we're the new emotions here. This is envy, this is ennui, this is embarrassment, and I am anxiety. And we see that things kind of start to, maybe they're gonna work these things out, the old emotions and the new emotions, and cooperate and work together for Riley. And now with the chaos that is puberty, that is not gonna be the case. Joy and anxiety already start clashing on how Riley should be at hockey practice, and anxiety also doesn't think the sense of self is something that should be there and dumps it into the back of Riley's mind. And then the new emotions are just like, you know what, y'all are kind of like redundant. Like, we have disgust, we have envy, we have fear, we have embarrassment. You know, we don't need this redundancy here. Let's clear Riley's mind and send y'all somewhere into a vault in a jar. And of course, now we have these bottle of emotions that have been suppressed now and taken to the back. In this vault, you also have Riley's imaginary friends as well here, with some of them being from her childhood up into recently as well, and some others in there as well, video game characters and all. So we then see that the new emotions are starting to create chaos. They're corrupting the new sense of self that they have for Riley's new memories. And the emotions, joy, anger, sadness, disgust, and also fear, are trying to find a way to get back into the headquarters and maybe fix some of these things that these new emotions are doing wrong. And they eventually find a way, thanks to Bluefy, who is one of the imaginary friends, a way to send sadness back through this tube mechanism that they call the recall. So that's like when you recall memories, pretty much. They are able to do this, but then the new emotions see this and they capture sadness. The old emotions go on a mission in order to find Riley's sense of self that was sent back by the new emotions to the back of her mind. While they're doing all of this, however, they see that anxiety is corrupting Riley with all of these negative feelings now. And then as they're trying to reclaim the sense of self, we see an avalanche happen that throws all of them them back at the headquarters where Riley is now having her final hockey match. Joy and Anxiety eventually, after a brief back and forth, have a heart-to-heart and realize that Riley needs all of them here and not just a new emotions or the old emotions. They all have to work together in a way and have to deal with each other, really. And we finally see that they come to the conclusion that Riley doesn't need to change either to have a better future. Anxiety and Joy realize all of this and they come to a peace agreement. And then we also see that Riley makes peace as well with Bree, Grace, and Val, who now is a new friend. So the emotions all decide to live in peace and know that Riley's sense of self will forever change as well. They don't have to keep it one way or another because all of these different things that are happening in Riley's life will make up who Riley is in the future as an adult, and they're all very important no matter what it is. And I thought it was a great way to really showcase how as we grow and we develop these new feelings and these new scenarios and these new memories, it all molds us, and some of them are not good, some of them are amazing, and you know, it really does shape up who you are in the end, and it makes you that much better of a person, I feel. And I think this is something that the emotions didn't really know how to deal with or really come to an agreement with, because some of them believe maybe like Joy was being too fake and really just suppressing all these memories because they never wanted to feel anything other than just pure joy. But at the same time, that kind of can make you come across as somebody who doesn't care or doesn't understand because you don't have that empathy and stuff like that. And I feel like Anxiety was somebody who felt that they needed to be careful now. They needed to watch themselves all the time, not really dive into things and enjoy them because you're always worried about what's going to happen. Whereas that's not a healthy way either to deal with anything, because at the same time, it is important to be cautious and to like being prepared is not bad, but at the same time, being scared about something or not really knowing what's going to happen next isn't necessarily a bad thing when it comes to certain situations, and you take the joy out of life if you do that. So I thought that was a really like easy way to explain, I feel, in the movie here, what they were able to accomplish with these very complex situations and emotions as well, especially when you are in that stage of your life when you just hit puberty. Things are changing, things are being viewed different by you, and people are viewing you differently. They're expecting more out of you and things like that, and so you start to have all of these bottled emotions. As we saw, the emotions here were bottled at times or repressed as well, and you don't know what to do next. And I thought it was just a great film that really showcased that very complex point that I think everybody in their life goes through. So very well done here from Inside Out 2. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Now, there is an Inside Out TV show on the way too as well. Apparently the TV show will take place with a different section of Riley's mind, of these factory workers or workers that work on her dreams and how that's crafted and stuff. That sounds interesting to me, so I'm very excited to see what comes next from that. They've also talked about the possibility of Inside Out 3 and what that could look like. I'm pretty sure they're waiting to hear about the box office. The box office sounds pretty good, about 135 plus opening. So apparently the biggest opening of the year is what Inside Out 2 is going to be. So very, very excited for the future of Pixar and what comes next. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Inside Out 2. If you're excited or not, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hitting the notification bell, making sure that we are on the road to 35,000 subscribers, less than 5,000 to go. We are on the road to that this month. Make sure that you are subscribed and hitting the notification bell. Tons of giveaways, tons of videos. Don't miss out, and I'll see all of you next time. Follow us, www.culturalexo.com, as well as our social media channels on TikTok, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, stay safe, stay positive.